Hey guys, Dylan here. Now, for those of you who are wondering why Chris Hansen is here, he is here because that's the gimmick of today's episode. We are going to be learning about Chris's opinions on the age of consent. Now, I bet you're wondering why Chris started to go on a rant about the age of consent. Well, it turns out that there was a person exposed in the brony community for being a pedophile, and Chris gave his opinions on that, and he decided to do a follow-up post on that. So we're going to be reading his follow-up post. So let's get into this. Actually, this does bring up an interesting point. This dude was 20, practically fresh out of high school. Now, I am not by any means standing up for or defending Grizzly, but think about it. Don't do that. Just fucking accept that he's a pedophile. If they are below the age of consent and you're fucking around with them, you're in trouble. Just accept it at that. Don't do this fucking thought process where it's like, is it really that wrong? If they're below age of consent, yeah, it's just wrong. Don't do this. This is bad. Chris, bad. But think about it. You're in high school, senior year. You just turned 18 years old. But before, well, that's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. This guy is 20 years old, not 18. You're already changing the situation to match your hypothetical, and that's not good, Chris. Then it was okay for you to date that hot 15-year-old cheerleader. I don't like the fact that there is a post out there of Chris Chan saying hot 15-year-old or jock, as you had been doing for a few months beforehand. Now she/he is super off limits. You turned 18 regardless of gender. Well, where I live, you can actually get permission from the parents and you can continue dating the underage person, but legally, yeah, you should just stop dating them until they become legal. I know that sounds dumb to some people, but that is the law. If you don't want to obey the law, then that's on you. You turn 18 regardless of gender or gender identity. Everyone begins to see you as an adult. Yes, that's life, Chris. I know you never grew up, but that is the reality of things. There are factual case points where mentally you are still a teenager. Don't fucking say that, Chris. That is the mindset of actual pedophiles, where they say, I'm in my mind a teenager, so I want to fuck around with teenagers. That's not good, Chris. That mindset is not good. Not yet fully into adulthood until 21. You're misunderstanding what people mean by that. Your brain isn't done developing until 21. That doesn't mean that you're an actual child still. Where that mindset is, everyone puts you at when you're turned 18. I empathize with the transition from going from dating most anybody within your classroom range, not counting the faculty, to where you may as well be having a different time finding your new sweetheart or soulmate. Age was hardly any of your problems. You started your love quest at the age of 22, and as you kept going onward, no one wanted you. So I don't think age had anything to do with you finding a woman, Chris. Just because you can't date that hot 15-year-old cheerleader, Chris, doesn't mean you have to go on this rant. I never got to date or experiment like that with anyone during my high school years, because you had your circle of gal pals and you never made a move on them, Elliot Roger. That's your fault. I still wish they'd offered a dating education class. I thought you were past the point of dating education. That is such a stupid idea. Just learn to socialize. Alongside sex ed. Why didn't you take sex ed? Did they not have sex ed where you were at? I thought sex ed was common. Maybe it was different in the early 2000s and late 90s. I don't know. But that never crossed my mind. I was naive. Well, that's your fault. If they had a date ed class, I bet you wouldn't have taken it either. But in this later age, I can empathize and compare with those who I had witnessed from others around me back then in person, as well as what was heard of in televised media. Televised media is why you feel like you're entitled to a girlfriend, and why you feel like you're a failure because you don't have one. Sorry about the thunder, can't control it. Nature is actually fucking everything up right now. My bad. It makes one feel like in these states there should be a grace period Don't fucking say that from after the day of turning 18, like until high school graduation, before you would ditch that cheerleader or jock's phone number for good or something. Chris, don't fucking think like that, please. Pondering it further, this suppression that gets instilled upon us at the numbered age date, and those of us who missed out on being amongst the popular ones, it sounds like you want to fuck a teenager, Chris. That's what it actually sounds like here. It sounds like you're upset that you can't fuck a 17-year-old. Who honestly were able to brag about, I made out with Jeremy under the bleachers during the big game against Milwaukee. That sounds very exact. That sounds very exact, Chris. Are you speaking from experience there? Or Jessica and I enjoyed a Pepsi and a couple of chili dogs before hitting the showers. What the fuck? Is this Sonic the Hedgehog? Why Pepsi and chili dogs? By my room and making passion behind my lenient parents' backs. Essentially, missed opportunities. You never made a move on any woman, Chris. By the time you started approaching women, you were already even grosser and creepier. And every time you approached a woman, you had sex in mind and you tried to fuck with her. You did everything wrong yourself. Don't fucking say missed opportunities or anything. It's all your fault. Doing things in effort of fitting in or finding your place in the social hierarchy. I don't want to hear you fucking talk about the social hierarchy. You're a fucking grown man who lives with his mom, who's gonna be homeless when she dies. You still don't fit into the social hierarchy. You live off of fucking welfare. That was limited within high school walls and zones, which all are super bogus to everyone. I hate this fucking post. This really is fucking weird to me. Feeling like you needed to have sex before you turned 18 or some local talk crap. You didn't have sex until you were in your late 20s and you fucked a prostitute that just feel popular like the hip crowd or some shit. Oh, so you can talk about fucking minors but you can't say shit? Sigh. It's with the few people who feel so deeply missing out on these things from their respective pasts that they feel needlessly urged to make up for lost time. Fuck someone your age. Fuck someone your age. Don't fuck a teenager by rocking the teenage cradle. Don't fucking defend pedophiles, Chris, or something. Frustrating. Yes, frustrating to everyone. Again, I am not yes, you are standing up. You are you're fucking having the same train of thought these guys are. Or defending or remotely condoning what these pedophiles have done. Well, why are you agreeing with it then, Chris? I'm just offering emphasized perspectives that put forth a few points. It sounds like you're trying to normalize the mindset. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on all of this. And they can come to be flawed in this way. Also realizing and taking into account the possibility of local family history that might have scarred them for life. So what? I don't think because someone did something to you when you were underage, that means that you have the right to do it to someone else. I think that's fucked, and I don't think you should be thinking like that. Don't think that because they were fucked with when they were young that they have the right to do it to anyone else. Them later on and similar. These situations can be prevented to help these individuals find solace and ease into taking on their new age-restricted norm. Well, they already know the people they should be fucking. They choose not to. Teaching them not to fuck minors isn't the solution. Punishing them for trying to fuck minors is the solution. And are forced to endure upon the turning 18. He's not 18. He's 20-something. The guy you are talking about is in his 20s, Chris. No, this mindset makes no fucking sense. Because when you think about it, we all wish we got a chance to do what we wanted to by hitting the big ol' 18. The age of consent system on that is not perfect. And now we have responsibilities to catch a few people for the future of the communities and the kids. Freaking frackin' fucking crazy. That's my 2 cents on the topic. Thank you for listening. Now that is Chris's opinion on the age of consent. That is actually his opinion on the age of consent. And we'll read the first comment. You like 15-year-olds, don't you, Chris Chan? And that's exactly what I was fucking thinking of too. So yeah, that was Chris Chan's beliefs on the age of consent. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. I hope that Chris Chan takes a step back from this and apologizes for this post, because you can take this post in so many different directions, and someone more malicious than me will twist this in a different direction to prove something in the future. So yeah, if you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it. And if you want to see more, then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.